I am back with some more Gears 5 Hivebusters. We're on episode 3 of the Let's Play series and continuing right where we left off last episode. I suppose I'd kind of finished off kind of mid-mission last episode. Like, we are finishing off with being picked up. We just had Hannah airlifted out, and this is the second half to that little ending, I think. It's just that, like, we hit an hour and I was like, maybe we can squeeze one more video out of this. I don't know how long this will be. This might be the last stretch for today, but we'll probably try and finish it today, if anything. Even if it is like somehow 2 hours long, but I doubt it. I think we should push for the ending now. But yeah, let's get into it. No point dilly-dallying. And yeah, let's do it. How that didn't hit. I didn't miss all that. Oh shit.
Zion!
Ah.
Bastion incoming!
Oh, honest friends from sight to finally make it to the party!
Take down that bastion!
Oh, fuck me.
I see you! I'm coming! Brad!
Take down that grenadier!
Get in.
Shield is up!
Oh, you're useless.
Ain't finished yet!
Throw it, frag!
No more shield! Unloaded!
You would have been screwed if that silent was put in. He's staying in one spot. I feel like in Gears 3, they were more aggressive. But that's the thing, I am playing on the intermediates and like nothing too difficult, but I did that sort of difficulty on Gears 3. I died quite often.
Frag out!
Shield charge! Blades charge!
Focus fire! Great gun! Ah, shit!
Really, the flock in like Gears 1 place. One, what did they call it? They call it the flock in Gears 1. You know hang on, I want to look up that. Flying Creed. Gears of War. Reavers. Huh? Is that right? No, not them. Flying bats? Krill, that's it. Like the krill were way more deadly. It's like they fed off like night. Like as soon as you're in the dark, they would take you apart instantly. Whereas these, they're like they must be somewhat adaptation. Like the only purpose really the leeches have is hijacking
what you think of my plan, eh?
the
Operation
robots and
Raid the
stuff.
Snatcher?
That's really their
You're
only
serious?
purpose. They
We
can't.
get snatched up.
Snatched up and smuggled right into the hive.
It would be scary if they
There's no
could
guarantee we can
control
survive that.
humans.
Fair point. But I feel like Hannah and her action science might have an answer for that.
Hell, it might work. Get smuggled into the heart of the hive. But we still gotta get out of here first. More swarm on the ridge.
And all of their fucking friends. Shit!
Bastard.
Could really use a lift, mate. Ropes incoming. About time.
Really?
Good to go, Tack.
Shake this thing. You gotta cut yourself free. Get ready. Oh, I fucking hate surprises. No! Scorpio, I gotta lose this thing before we can get out of here. Get to the high ground and I'll pick you up.
We're on it, Tack.
Where's my fucking gun gone? I lost my. What's it?
Wakatu made quick work of the swarm.
I feel good about Hannah's toxin plan. If we can manage to catch that thing.
I'm not sure we can do it alone.
Agreed. Now's the time to ask Hoffman to bring in some reinforcements.
Keegan, this is not a cog mission.
What?
What the hell are you talking about?
Hoffman's gone rogue. Just us.
Hoffman is a decorated cog veteran.
But just think for a second. The access codes to Sanctum. If Hoffman's working with the cog, why couldn't he just get those codes himself?
That's ridiculous. Locke, you don't believe this, do you?
Doesn't make sense. Why would he lie to us?
You think I'd join an actual cog mission? That man is used to doing whatever it takes to get the job done.
Oh, shit!
This way!
And another thing! If this was a legit operation, why would everything be so goddamn secret? When we got here, we had no clue where we were going!
Nick, not the time!
Damn it!
Knew we couldn't shake it for long.
Wow. But is the Wakatu something different, or is it connected to the
This ain't a cog
swans?
mission?
What the hell are you talking about?
Looks like we're all in the dark on this one.
I wonder, like, this thing, I wonder if the
We're gonna
Wakatu is
have
something
words.
completely new.
No more lies, Hoffman.
The First Minister rejected my plan to deal with the swarm. She said her damn robots could handle them. So I used my forced retirement to launch a mission of my own.
All this time, we were on a goddamn rogue operation?
That's right. Look, I know your past. That you've all suffered and struggled. But you've still got that fight in you. Purpose. That's why we're here.
It was our lives on the line.
The fate of the entire planet is on the line, soldier.
I'm not here to save the world. The swarm took my son. Dragged him, screaming, into the dark. I failed to protect him. To fight for him. I joined up to make these fuckers pay. And I planned to die doing it. But here we are. So, to hell with it. I'll live. And I'll fight for what family I have left.
I won't stand by and watch more people suffer. Not when I can do something about it. We know how to get to the heart of the hive. All I need is one sample.
And you'll get it. But I won't let my brother face this one alone.
Wish I could have been there for you, Mac. And your son. But I'm here now.
Well, that's it then. Once more into the screaming dark.
All right, Scorpio. This is it. Find the Wakatu. Extract Xena. Get out.
Remember, all we need is a sample. Good luck out there, Scorpio.
Picked us for a reason, sir. We'll get the job done. You guys ready to walk amongst the ancestors?
Hey, spirit walk, right?
So, you were listening.
Of course I was.
Back where we were. Interesting.
Right back to where it all began.
Like my ancestors have done for generations. Enter the Fade and walk amongst the ancestors. The path of our people will reveal your burden. There's our path.
I'll be damned.
The awakening. The Wakatu. I'm living out what my parents and Gran used to believe was mythology. Just stories. I was in prison when Gran passed. I wish she could see me now.
It's none of my business, but
It's okay. We're squad now. We both should know. I fucked up. Deliberately ignored an order. Thought I knew better than everyone else, and someone got killed. I see you. A good man. Truth is, as much as I want to go back, I don't know if there's a spot waiting for me.
I know that feeling. Sometimes there ain't no going back. And I'm learning that might be okay.
Wow. Yeah, like, this is really good looking for what it is. Yeah.
Lonnie, what's this?
Some kind of effigy. My father used to carve pieces like it from wood. Said they would protect us from dark spirits.
That's great. Really, these abilities are only worth it if you're playing
Being
co-op.
back in the action, having a team at my side. I've
bit of
missed this feeling of
communication.
being part of something bigger.
I know that feeling too. This way. Give me a hand.
Your old job. Still classified?
No, I can spill. I was part of the Brash Brigade. Locust cleanup crew.
Cleanup crew?
Some of the Locusts survived the war. We made them disappear. Quietly.
What?
Emulsion countermeasure at Azura.
As far as the public knows, the war ended there. But there was still more work to be done.
Wait, there was surviving locusts? What the fuck? That's new, isn't it?
There should be another way around.
That's
Through the
kind
rules.
like, it kind of makes a bit of sense. Like, maybe some of them would have somehow made it, but I don't know about how I feel about that, really. One thing that's a bit annoying is they keep resetting my inventory. I keep getting a whole reset of weapons, which
Not bad.
Gears 5 was really good at like kind of keeping what weapons you had going into each mission, I think. I might be wrong about that. I think you mostly kept the same ones you had equipped. I might be wrong about that, but yeah, that's frustrating because you have to re-get the guns you wanted to use. It's not a big deal.
Where are they going?
Popper! Threat neutralized! Got more juvies! Take them out!
Leave it to me!
really, what's the point? If you shoot the ones with the grenades and they go off, what's the point if they're not going to damage the others? Doesn't seem to be damaging them.
Out their welcome.
So, Corporal,
Lieutenant?
never got the long story about your rank. Onyx Guard fought like hell in the war. What would hold up a promotion?
After all of us were fighting, I was stationed on Missouri, doing basically guard duty. Onyx exiles, they call us. No glory, no rank, and no purpose. For all those years.
I'm sorry, Keegan.
So he was an Onyx Guard.
I don't
That's
know
cool.
about all this rank stuff, but what you're doing here, this matters, brother.
Thanks. I appreciate it, Mac.
Really, Onyx Guards. They've always been put out to be like really, oh shit, pushovers compared to like the main COG troops.
Hey, little help? Swarm ahead!
Hunters at the back there!
That's enough! Come get your ammo! You will suffer! Make you suffer! Make them count!
You dead, ain't you, boy?
Match another! See us! See us! See us!
What the fuck? Guys, help! I'm gonna die. Grab him! Grab him!
Then he brought his pet.
I'm dead. Help.
I see you! I'm coming!
Revive me.
First time I've pounced that. In this DLC. Like in the first PS4, pounces were always pouncing. They were pretty aggressive. In this, they kind of don't do what they kind of are made to do.
That's all of them.
Way out is ahead. Through those doors. Let's keep going. Help me out.
That tree there. He was on the carving in the village hall. He must be the Wakatu's nest.
Then we're still on the right path.
That's crazy looking. That's beautiful. Beautiful.
Before all this, I really thought my life was over. That I'd live out the rest of my days in prison.
So you joined up when Hoffman's crony found you?
Exactly.
Same here. What else can you do when you've lost everything?
Something for me. What was that? Resupply. Yeah, look, I missed. They're all in chapter 2, so I missed like these 3, I think. And maybe I should have done like a New Game Plus or something, if that was an option.
Which way? We got Tubies over here!
Here too!
How doesn't that damage them? It's a bit stupid. I should be rewarded for like killing one of them. But these Molotov. But these Molotov. Juvies are burning this forest down. It's a bit unbelievable.
All right, we made it. Let's find our way to the tree. That's it.
Does that regen now? No. That would have been good.
Got some debris here. Acquisition. That's a whole damn vulture.
A vulture went down on Pahanu?
You found 144B. It went down shortly before I arrived on Galangi. It was loaded with the initial DB4s to lead our charge into the bunker.
Think we could recruit them to our cause?
Worth a shot? I'll take it. Surrender to the cog.
They ain't friendly!
Why the hell are they attacking us?
Not a cog mission, remember?
They must be following their default directive to protect cog property.
Nothing we can't handle! Trackers incoming!
Oh wow, we ain't seen these in a while.
It's dead. Ammo drop on standby. They're down. I've got ammo. Resupply depleted.
Police.
More trackers!
That's another! May
Surely.
as well see what's waiting for us inside.
Realistically, surely, Mac would have been fine.
Traumatic behavior is a punishable offense.
Get on! Fire!
Throw it, Brad!
Target locked.
Ow, fucking hell. Wow.
On your feet!
Grenade out. Order will be restored.
I need help!
Damn it, they're powerful.
Hostile.
Help's on the way!
Okay, we're good.
Take what supplies we can from this wreck, and let's see about getting that loading ramp opened up. Mac, can you get it open?
Not a problem.
He's pretty much Jack, isn't he?
This'll get the door open. Got it!
More DBs!
Great! Even more unfriendly, traitorous cogbots!
It's dead!
Target acquired.
Stock up, team!
We got Guardians, too!
Shoot through their shields!
Engaging targets.
That's all I've got!
Ah, no, my cover's gone. My cover's gone, I'm dead.
I'm in trouble!
Fucking.
I need help!
Shite! I'm in trouble!
It's not your time! I need a hand!
Fuck off, here, man. Bullshit. Ah. Deal with it, guys.
Gotta figure this out!
Bullshit, that.
Ready to resupply!
On will.
Really, when they make enemies with a shield like that, it just shows how fucking tedious it is.
They're probably
So they
gonna
just
run
turn,
into more
like,
DBs
enemies
from that
and, like, the
vulture.
robots especially, they're bullet sponges anyway.
Tell me about it.
And when you've got, like, them
But I
fucking
wouldn't have
having
given for
shields
their
like
help
that,
when the
and you've
swarm
got to burn
attacked.
through, like, that's the thing,
What happened?
you burn through so much ammo like that.
Then the terrifying quiet. Even if I wasn't miles from home, I couldn't have stopped it. I wasn't a fighter.
You did what you could, Mac, and you lived.
If I wasn't such a coward, I would have died with him.
Coward. Show me a man sacrificing more than one who's lost their child. I'd follow you into anything.
Thank you. Both of you.
I'll seek it.
But yeah, the problem is, like, when the most of the enemies are bullet sponges anyway, no matter what. They don't feel too bad to shoot at and everything. They're actually quite good. And it's not really a bad thing, the sponginess in this. It's better than most games, but like with them drone things then, like when I was using the assault rifle, or when I ended up using the sniper, it was like a whole magazine to take down the shields, and then you've got to take your time to reload, and if you don't do a perfect reload before you start shooting at them, their shield comes back up, and then you gotta waste more bullets or a mag on that thing again. So I really can't imagine fighting them on a harder difficulty, like really hard, because I think that would piss me off more than anything. Like they would be perfectly fine if they were just either without the shields, or maybe like their shields had a cooldown period where like they would pop them on and off. Say, like when they wrap an enemy round with a shield, that's a bit better because then at least you're prioritizing him. But even then, that is a bit like, I don't know. If anything, it should be kind of like the shields that he uses. What's his name? Mac. Oh, maybe who am I then? I thought this was Mac, but like what Mac uses with his shield, where it's just like front facing, but it's not the whole body. Actually, let's test it. Might be wrong.
Look at him!
Oh yeah, maybe. Like that's a bit much. But he's had it upgraded a bit. Yeah, that's been upgraded. But without the upgrade size, it wasn't that bad. Like something like that is a bit.
Got to recharge!
Like I don't like abilities like that. Even with my one, the ammo, that's a bit. Like where the fuck is the ammo coming from? You know, like it's very. It just doesn't make sense. Like I get maybe her knife attack because maybe there's like a heat blade on a knife or something that could do it. You know, there's something of a believability with it. Or maybe some adrenaline gets kicked into her somehow. But like, I'd say the abilities with Mac and this guy is a bit.
Sounds like one hell of a fight going on down there.
Should we take a look?
Fuck off. You cunt.
Take down that elite drone!
Throwing frag!
How didn't that not kill him? If that was my grenade, he would have got dead as well. Oh, dead boy.
That's all of them.
This river goes right to the Wakatu's nest.
And look at that. There's a boat waiting for us.
Hey, lucky, right?
You know it. Been one hell of a journey, that's for sure. I only got this far thanks to your support.
I gotta admit, I was wrong about you, Mac.
We both were.
Well, I had my assumptions about you two as well. Look at us now. Team Scorpio, saving the planet.
I feel like if they were able to make this a little bit longer, I bet they would have made this a lot better. Doreen sold it separately from... But I don't know. I don't know whether people would have bought it, to be honest. Separately. Even if it was longer. Because really, you ain't got the big draw of the characters besides, like... Maybe Cole's daughter and the guy doing the operation. The old
Maybe
man
it doesn't see us.
in the wheelchair, what's his name? I think here's one. Why am I blanking? He's probably the best selling character. Oh, these aren't bad characters. I feel like there's a lot of forced conflict with a lot of these sort of games do when they have to put a brand new squad together. Like they've got to have a forced conflict and then resolution.
Monsters overrunning Kahanu.
Me too. We're making things right. Purging the swarm from inside.
Thanks, Keegan.
The flock is back!
scared them off.
Even the swarm must recognize the god of Bahanu. You know, my grand's final words to me were about struggle. How my suffering would define the true lion. The weak or the strong. I wanted to know which I'd be. She said, live and discover for yourself. That's the journey.
I think I would have liked it. Doesn't matter how hard we try to run from our past. Everything we did led us here.
Led us to this island, 1,000 miles from the war. This time I'm gonna make a goddamn difference.
I thought this was my chance to prove myself. To the Bresh Brigade, to the memory of my CO. My gran was right. The path of my life would determine who I'd become. He brought me home, here, and gave me a new family.
That goes for all of us.
We survived a hell of a lot to find home, Scorpio. I say we fought like hell to save it.
It's making me want to play Tomb Raider. That's one of my favourite games ever, the Tomb Raider trilogy. I'd love for them to do another one for Tomb Raider. I think that was a really good franchise. Oh, this is
Looks
it.
like this is it.
Fear.
The Wakatu wants a swarm off this island as much as we do. We should try to get the sample without killing it.
Agreed. Be good to see the natural order restored. But he might have other plans.
Watch your footing!
Coming up! Keep letting it down!
Oh, shit.
Look out! Start forming us!
Here we go! We've got this!
Easy.
Target the man side! Almost there! It's underground!
This is what my lady! We got this!
Here comes this man! It's making a move!
Keep it up!
One more.
Where'd it go?
Awaken, reborn, renewed, not consumed. Your heavy burden transformed. Light as the feather.
Put up one hell of a fight. You, think it'll live?
Yeah, I do. It's a good day. Everyone survives.
Ready for this, Scorpio?
If I don't make it, I want you to know, it's your fault, and I'm gonna fucking haunt you.
How's your nerves, Major Howe?
Oh, to hell with my anxiety. This time, I'm the surprise.
see you on the other side.
Woo! Awesome. Well, you think maybe the Swarm would be smart enough to figure it out after a while and go somewhat tackle that? Because that's the thing, the Swarm slash Locust, they're not dumb. I suppose maybe the Snatchers are, like they are just beasts. But they must have some intelligence to them. Yeah, pretty cool day. But yeah, that's it for Gears of War, really, in general. There's a chance I will play Gears Tactics. I've been talking about this, but there's a chance I'll play it. But I think I'm gonna leave it for now because we've done a lot of Gears. And yeah, Gears Tactics is kind of a different sort of vibe to it all. And I think if I want to play that, I want to play it properly and not like with the main games. I can somewhat not rush through them, but smash through it in a way rather easily. Whereas Gears Tactics, it requires a bit of patience to it all, I think. And yeah, I'm not really familiar with them games too much. And yeah, it's not even like it's the continuation of it all. It is a prequel, so it's nothing like, oh yeah, you have to play it. And it's a whole different studio, so how much authenticity to this main story there is, maybe it's just more references to the older games than anything else. I don't know, I'll reconsider it, but like I think I want to change up the random full Let's Plays a little bit. Well, we're going into more Telltale The Walking Dead with Michonne next. And then after that, it'll be... we'll do the wheel spinner at the end of the Michonne stuff. I think at the minute it is Crisis, Dead Space and Rise and Rome, but I know that there's been quite a few new games added to Game Pass, so we might have a double check through that, see if there's any games we can add to it, and then we'll go from there. But like, say if it's a franchise game like Dead Space, or if it's something like Dead Space or Crisis, where there's multiple games and I really like the games, if I'm not too keen on it, we won't bother too much. But like, say I like them, we'll play through the whole franchise if we can. But yeah, we'll see. But if it's like Rise and Rome, something that we can play in one shot, that'll be it. But yeah, that's it for Gears of War 5 Hivebusters. Weren't too bad. I feel like they could have, like I said earlier, they could have maybe made this into a full game. But I think that would have messed up with Gears 5's multiplayer and like them setting on a whole new multiplayer for this. Like maybe they could have just done a like Judgment Day sort of thing. Maybe, but yeah, not bad DLC. Like I said earlier, it's a bit like, in a way, I'd say this has a bit more to it than, say, Ram Shadow. Ram Shadow was cool just because you get to play as Ram. But realistically, there wasn't a whole lot to that. Ram's attacks was always the same. But it was still cool, though, like, playing as the opposite side. Like, it'd be awesome to have a Gears game where you do that. The whole game is you playing as the Locust, and for once the Locusts are winning in a way. Imagine that for Gears 6. Like, completely take our expectations away and we are playing as the fucking Locust. Now that would be a selling point. Or maybe if they did a bit of both. Well, I suppose we did kind of play a bit of the Locust in Gears 5 with the whole Kate taking over Locust thing that they did, but like, it'd be nice to see the opposite side. Like, I watched The Walking Dead recently, and when they did the what was it? Episode where they would like talking about the different types of walkers and how they evolved, how they migrate and stuff like that. That was kind of cool because it was an episode around like focusing on the zombies. Something like that for Gears would be kind of interesting. Like what do the Locust / Swarm do in their spare time? Are they like the what do you call them in Lord of the Rings? The orcs in Lord of the Rings, like, are they just building weapons all the time and breeding and building up the army? Is it something like that what the Locusts do in the Swarm? Like, are they just constantly building up the army? Do they have downtime? Do they sleep? Do they like, I suppose when we go into them stealth sections you kind of see them a little bit, but they're more or less just patrolling on guard all the time. And that's the thing, what's the purpose for when, like, say the Locusts won, what would they do after all that, you know? Like, what is their piece? They just seem to be like the dominant, like, just aggressive force. Like, they're not like humanity where they're building well, no, they do have, like, culture, I guess. Like, they do have structures and buildings with the Locust. But that's the thing with Gears, it's so complicated with the Locust and the Swarm because they've got that whole, especially with this Gears 5 where they make it like the Locusts are part human and stuff like that, which I don't know whether people like that too much. Like, you can somewhat see it, but I don't know, it'd be kind of cool if the Locusts were a separate entity, they weren't human. And they've always just been there underground all the time, and they've just woken up. Like, that's a bit creepier than, say, some science experiment gone wrong. I don't know. It is confusing, the lore to this Gears. And I think I watched a video a few weeks ago where they were saying how in Gears 5 and apparently Tactics, apparently they mess up the lore a little bit in that sense, where they don't keep it like they kind of they do mess around with it in Gears 5 with Kate and stuff, but apparently they do it more in Gears Tactics, which I don't know what it's about because I've not played that yet, but yeah, it's an interesting one. But yeah, I did enjoy it. It's kind of cool that they brought this DLC out and it's got a whole new monster in it. Now, my curiosity, it seems like this Wakaku thing is a completely separate entity. Like, this is just something that was in the wildlife of the Gears universe anyway. Like, they've always been there, maybe. Well, I suppose if the Locusts have always been there, the Wakaku. But the thing is, we're not really seeing, I suppose, like, the horses and stuff, they are pretty wacky, so, like, it is a bit believable, but this thing's massive. It's a big fucking bird. And, like, the same with, like, the Kraken and stuff like that in Gears. Like that's always been assumed that it's an evolution of the Locust or Swarm. But is it because they've always been, like, working with the Swarm? But, like, this was something different. This was, like, native wildlife shit. But the only thing, it would have been kind of cool with this DLC to add other stuff, like, maybe, like, what would a pack of wolves or tigers or, like a big cat or a big dog would look like in a Gears game in the wild. Like, that would be interesting. Because we've seen horses and stuff. Like, I don't know. Well, like, do they have more prehistoric looking creatures? Like, what would a crocodile look in that jungle? Like, they could have added that sort of stuff. as a new enemy. But yeah, because I think they could have added a crocodile or something. Because they've got the similar, they could have added like the similar animations to what like the centipede, or they could have added the centipedes into this. The centipedes would have been kind of, maybe not electrified like they have been, but maybe like just a massive centipede, like they're just native to this area, and with like the locusts they just tame them somehow. But that would have been interesting. Or snakes, that would have been cool. Snakes. But yeah, they kind of just went with this, what assets they had with the swarm and the robots. And like I said earlier, the robots, like give or take, when you're fighting in Gears 5, like the combat is still really good, but I think some of the enemies are kind of frustrating. It's like, I don't think it's as bad in this, but like, I think in Halo 5 Guardians, they have a similar drone system where there's something flying around and they just protect or like shield a specific enemy, and it makes you lock onto that drone and it diverts you from other tactics that you could do. It's not like in this, when one of the drones puts a cloak around like a scion or something, there's no other way to break that shield besides shoot the drone. I don't think, like, it's a lot of effort to shoot it if it is, but I don't think so. I think the only shields you can shoot are the ones that are in front of the drone. But even then, that's tough. Like, that's the frustrating part about them shields, is like you pretty much go through a whole magazine of ammo for the shield to go down, for you hopefully to reload quick enough to continue shooting. And like, you tell your teammates to focus fire on it, but I've got to say, the teammate AI they're not like the player, where like, for me, I feel like I have to hold down the trigger in this game. It's not like, I'd say Halo or Battlefield or something like that. Like, they encourage you to burst fire and be a bit more conservative, whereas Gears, it's pretty much point and fucking shoot. And that's what I kind of like about it, is kind of, it's not too sweaty in the stories. The story is usually quite fun and chill. Like, I do like the multiplayer in this. Like, I'd say Gears 5 was the first Gears game that I really properly got into the multiplayer, the horde mode and all that stuff. Like, I really digged it in this game. And sure, like, I loved it in Gears 2 and 3, especially with the horde modes in them. Like, they were really good. But in this, like, I kind of like the package. Like, I like the kind of base building in the horde mode in this. But yeah, like, the multiplayer is always going to be sweaty fun in a way, but when it comes to the story, it is just enjoying this story with a ton of action, and you can't go wrong with that in Gears, and they've always done it. Like, that's the thing, for me personally, there's not an awful Gears of War game. There's not a dreadful game that I can't play through. I can play through these games quite happily. And I'll be playing probably again relatively soon. I'll probably repeat play. Like, I don't know if I'll do a playthrough of it in the future. Like, I don't know. I've always spoken about like Halo 5. I might do like Halo. I might replay them at some point if they do like a new Halo game. But do a whole new playthrough on the same game. Like, something like Halo would be valid, because when I did that series, my videos weren't really good quality. Like, my commentary in that has got a little bit better since then, but I don't know. That's stuff like I would think about at the time. It's like when like Gears 6 is supposedly around the corner. Now, would I play through all the Gears game again? Probably not. But something like that would make me consider maybe we just finish off with Gears Tactics, play the most recent Gears game. But besides that, I don't know. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I'm glad that I managed to get 3 episodes out of this. even though like I know that I kind of finished off each of these episodes in a weird way. Well, this one's better because it's just the ending, but the last two, like, I kind of, like, when I finished, it was like, oh, maybe I should finish it just in case. Like, I hate it when I'm playing like a shorter game because you don't know when you're gonna end. It's the same with a longer game, I guess, but at least like you can somewhat guess what chapter you're on and stuff like that. Whereas this, it was a bit more confusing, and like some of the chapters were shorter than others, and others were longer than others. It's a bit confusing, but yeah, overall, fun time with Gears of War. And look, if I want to scratch that Gears of War itch and play some Gears of War, I think I might come and play some Gears 5 and do some multiplayer Horde stuff, maybe. I did do that one time ages ago, but I never came back to it. But maybe we'll do that maybe if I change my mind with any of these random full Let's Plays where I'm like, oh, actually, you know what, I'm gonna not rush into, or I'm not able to play said game or start it up. Maybe I'll be like, okay, I'll do one-off random live stream. But that's the thing, with the random live streams, I could put them up any day. Like, say I played like a Battlefield, I could put them on it any day. I could put them up as soon as I did it, really. But when it's something like a series, then I kind of gotta keep them consistent to the channel, I think. But yeah, good day, good game. Highly recommend any of the Gears games. Like, sure, Gears 5 is probably the most controversial, and most of the time I don't really like it. Like, I think the Gears 4 and 5, like, the writing isn't perfect. And there is frustrating moments, especially in Gears 5. I think for me that's the most frustrating one when it comes to characters and the way they behave and everything. I just find it frustrating and very un-Gears-like in like the Brotherhood. Like, I'd say in this was a bit frustrating with the whole, like, because of how short it is, they kind of rush into the drama of people, oh, I don't like you, I don't want to work with you anymore, and then 5 seconds later it feels like, oh, okay, let's make friends, let's truce it out and just work together now. And now that could have been, like, that could have had a bit more play and made it a bit longer, or maybe they just didn't need to fall out in general. Maybe they just needed to be like the classic Gears, where, like, I feel like the older Gears games, it was more like, okay, we're a team now, let's just work together. Like, you might have one or two fucking comments with the way someone's leading the team, but at the end of the day, when they pull through together, it works. No matter what. Even if they're in the shit or in the belly of a fucking worm, they're gonna get out together, because they need to be together in a scenario like that. Whereas, like, Gears 5, it was just a bitch commentary through the first half of the game over JD, trying to do the best, trying to do his fucking job in a way, the best way he can, and people turned him into the villain for some fucking reason. When I'd say, out of all the modern Gears characters, I think JD is probably the most interesting in a way, because, like, sure, like, maybe it's because he's Marcus's son, but that's what would have been cool with it. I mentioned it before. I think these games would have been better, Gears 5 especially, if you're gonna do the open world, traveling. Like, how cool would it have been if it was Marcus and JD, father and son? I know it's very God of War like. Maybe Kate along with them, if you want to do that whole story arc. But if anything, them three working together. Like, sure, you could have had that bit of drama between JD and his dad, with the whole, like, maybe not being there when he grew up. But then you could, Marcus talked to him about this fight and, like, this war. You need to maybe think about getting out of it or somehow, because it's gonna mess with you. Because we need more games where there's, like, father and son, and even father and daughter sort of stories. I think. Because there's a lot of hate when it comes to men these days, and I think something like father and son travelling together, fighting alongside each other, having each other's back would be a really good story for Gears. A really, really good one. Because it just goes in line with the whole Gears vibe of brotherhood, but this is different. This is Gears with a family now. And how cool would it have been if Anya was still alive, you know? And it was Marcus, Anya, and JD. That would have been interesting. But yeah, I'm going to wrap it up here for today. Like I said, the next series on the channel for the Random Full Let's Play should be Michonne. I don't think that's going to be very long. I think when I looked it was like 3 episodes, so that's not going to be too long of a series. But you know what the Telltale games are like. Each episode is rather long. It'll be at least 2 hours, maybe. But we'll see what Michonne is like. But yeah, going on that, we'll just keep the Random Full Let's Plays going. I've got all the main Let's Plays going up at the moment. I don't know what would be going on. Maybe State of Decay would have started up at this point, I'm not sure. But yeah, the channel is ticking along quite nicely. And yeah, I think we'll leave it there for today, I guess. But as always, I just appreciate anybody watching my Let's Plays. And yeah, I guess I'll see you all in the next one.